welcome to another edition of Let's Learn the Law. My name is Suraya Ali. So in the maiden episode, we looked at our fundamental human rights and the need to know them so we can exercise them. Today we are looking at a law that protects our children, the Children's Act of 1998, Act 560. Please, before we get into it though, if you haven't subscribed to AATV yet, kindly do so, and please click on the notification bell so as to be notified of all our uploads. Thank you. So today we are looking at the Children's Act, like I said, Act 560 of 1998. The Act defines a child. Per our law, the child is anybody below the age of 18. So anybody from 0 to 17 is considered a child per the laws of Ghana. Okay, so this law is about anybody that falls within the range of the ages I've mentioned. Alright, so it starts with a welfare principle. Let me just take us through the welfare principle. The best interest of the child shall be paramount in any matter concerning a child. Also, the best interest of the child shall be the primary consideration by any court, person, institution, or other body in any matter concerned with a child. It simply means that in all matters or decisions that have to do with the child, the welfare or well-being of the child should be placed above every other thing. That's what simply the welfare principle means. So the rights of children include non-discrimination. No child should be discriminated against by virtue of their size or their sex or their disability or economic factor or any factor whatsoever. No child should be discriminated against. So when you have children, we have some parents out there whom because of the sex of their children, they discriminate against some of them. So if the person wanted a boy and ended up giving birth to a girl or vice versa, they end up showing favoritism amongst the children. The law is against this. Okay. Also, if perhaps you have a child who is disabled and you prefer to send your able children to school because the other child is disabled, the law is against this. No child should be discriminated against, no matter the circumstance of the child. Alright, and then the right to a name and nationality. Every child has the right to be named. Every child has the right to a nationality. My name is Suraya Ali. Suraya is my Islamic name and Malititi is my traditional name. Now, Alidu is my surname and I am entitled to it because Alidu is my father's name, so is the name all my siblings and I bear. Okay, so I am entitled to the name as well. Every child out there is equally entitled to a name, whether first name or surname. So all those fathers out there who have made it so that some kids are called Ipia Veronica and Abigail Sewa, please do the needful. Okay, that's just by the way. Anyways, children have the right to be named. That's just what the law is saying. Okay, and then the right to grow up with their parents. Every child has the right to grow with the parent. Okay, but the law makes an exception in the case where growing with the parent will pose a danger for the child. Perhaps the parent is not of a sound mind or have certain traits or certain behavior that could put the child in danger when the child is left in their care. In this case, the law covers it, or the law excuses such a parent from living with the child. All right. So also the parental duty and responsibility. All parents have a duty to register their children at birth and provide them with education, shelter, health, clothing, and protection from all forms of harm. This goes without saying that every child needs to be protected by the parents that gave birth to him or her, and then the adults around the said child. You gave birth to the person, you don't need someone to tell you to. But then authorities realize that there is a need to bring this out there because some parents subject their children to harm, okay, which shouldn't be so, unfortunately. So because of this, it was captured in the Children's Act of 1998 that all children should be protected. There is a right to education and well-being. So it basically throwing light on the fundamental human rights we talked about. Every child is entitled to all those rights. Okay, so right to social activity. The child is entitled to various forms of leisure or sports activities. Okay, so when your child comes home from school and they want to maybe join their peers in playing football, allow the child to be a child. Okay, life is hard. All right, so when they are young, that's when they can maybe enjoy life as much as possible. So I'll allow children to be children before they begin to experience life itself. So yes, that's what the law is saying. If entitled to all those rights. Okay, so right to social activity. The child is entitled to various forms of leisure or sports activities. Okay, so when your child comes home from school and they want to maybe join their peers in playing football, allow the child to be a child. Okay, life is hard. All right, so when they are young, that's when they can maybe enjoy life as much as possible. So I'll allow children to be children before they begin to experience life itself. So yes, that's what the law is saying. If they come home from school, they want to play games or enjoy some leisure activities with their peers, allow them. Just ensure they do their homework, of course, and eat, but allow them. If whatever it is they want to go and do will not harm them in any way, the law says allow them. All right, the right to express an opinion. Our culture makes it look like children don't have a say in any given situation. In my home, for instance, when two adults are having a conversation, you cannot invite yourself in that conversation as a child unless, of course, you are invited into it. Now, the law is saying that in any given situation where the child is concerned, the child has a right to an opinion. Give the person the right to express himself. Don't think that because they are children, they don't have anything to say or some people think that now they didn't know and now and all that. These kids can surprise you, trust me. So please allow them the latitude or the liberty to express themselves. They have that right. Okay, especially in situations that have to do with them or decisions that have to do with them. Please take their opinion. It matters. And the law stamps on it. All right. Protection from torture and degrading treatment. No person is allowed by law to inflict punishment or impose any cultural practice which is harmful on a child. Okay, this law says no child should be subjected to any form of physical harm. It's part of the reason why corporal punishment has been banned in schools, because authorities realize that some teachers subject the children to beatings that end up doing more harm than good. Okay, that's part of the reason why corporal punishment has been banned from our schools. So this is telling you that the law says, is your child all right? But please, you can punish them to some extent, but find ways of punishing them that would not inflict any harm, either physical or any other form of harm on the child. Okay, when you go to outside Ghana or even here, some parents do this. They practice grounding, such that when the child does something and you're not okay with, you can ground them. Grounding simply is taking their liberties away from them. So if they have a game to play or any form of entertainment tools, you take it away from them. You maybe make them stay in their rooms for a particular time period before you lift the ban, or the grounding or the punishment. So you can exercise that, but the law says don't inflict physical harm on the child. And also forced betrothals in marriages. Mostly with this, girls suffer the most. Children are subjected to early and forced marriages. Okay, and the law is against it. If the child wants to go to school, she has that right. Okay, nobody's school or education should be truncated because you feel you've betrothed her to your friend's son and it's time for the son to get married. So your daughter, whether she's ready for it or not, whether she agrees with it or not, should get married. The law forbids it. In fact, some people use religious factors to push this. But even where I come from as a Muslim, the hadith is succinct about this. No girl should be forced in any kind of marriage at all, talk less of a girl who is a child. So please, let's take that into consideration. All right. So these are the few we are looking at. Of course, there are a lot more in the Children's Act that we can treat in the coming episodes. But to warm our ways, these are the few I'm taking a look at today. And pointers for today: children are gifts from God and should be treated as such. Remember, they are our future, and how we treat them today paints a picture of the tomorrow we are bound to have. The next time you see someone maltreating a child, please remember that the law places a responsibility on you to intervene in such a situation, but in the right way. You can report to opinion leaders in your community or other necessary authorities like the Social Welfare Department or your district assembly. My name is Suraya Ali Domalititi. Thank you very much for joining me today too. I have learned something. I truly hope you have too. Please subscribe to AATV and like and share this so we can all benefit from this. Also drop your comments, your suggestion, and your questions you might have on this. We'll take a look at them. I'll be back again next time. Till then, treat your children with love, care, and respect. Bye-bye.